following are warning signs of AIDS in men: generalized body itching rash, unexplained weight loss, unexplained fevers of unknown origin, and on and off sickness. But the only way to know if you are living with HIV or not is by taking a blood HIV test. Hope you guys will remember that HIV does not mean having AIDS, right? HIV infection has 3 stages, that is acute HIV stage, chronic HIV infection, asymptomatic, and AIDS stage. Such features as AIDS face and other body disfigurements, you can easily tell that the man is living with HIV and the medications have affected his body. Having that said, do not use what I said to tell if a guy has HIV or not, especially before making marriage or relationship decisions. The only reliable way is getting the person tested for HIV. What I said would only help you raise HIV suspicion. These people have thin arms and legs and also have a big belly and wasted face. Using such features as AIDS face and other body disfigurements, you can easily tell that the man is living with HIV and the medications have affected his body. For instance, if a middle-aged guy is diagnosed with TB, or if you are diagnosed with Kaposi sarcoma, you are more likely to have AIDS. Also, there are some people who have been affected by HIV medications and their bodies are disfigured, an abnormality we call lipodystrophy. What are the warning signs of AIDS? Just like I said, not everyone living with HIV has AIDS. In fact, the largest percentage of people who are taking HIV treatment do not have AIDS. If you delay having an HIV test, and if you delay starting taking your HIV medications, you may soon develop AIDS, which is the last stage of HIV infection. A carrier working in various HIV clinics, I have also seen many men complaining of erectile dysfunction and loss of libido. Though this could be attributed to emotional distress caused by HIV disease, there are lots of studies that have associated erectile dysfunction with the virus infection. How do you know if a guy has HIV? Unless a person has obvious signs and symptoms of AIDS, there's no proven way you can tell if a guy has HIV. But, as I said, someone with a keen eye can easily tell with high suspicion that a guy has AIDS. Alright, so when do HIV symptoms first appear? Well, soon after exposure and infection, you are likely to see early HIV symptoms in the first 1 to 4 weeks, and in some people, the first symptoms appear in the first 90 days. Referring to statistics, a man can live for more than 15 to 25 years with HIV without knowing. If you're taking your medications as told by a doctor, expect to lead and live a normal life that is the same as your HIV-negative counterparts. He has no specific signs or symptoms. In fact, people that have no HIV usually suffer from the same signs and symptoms experienced by HIV-positive people. Warning signs and symptoms of early HIV in men include the following: a fever, skin or body rash, enlarged lymph nodes, night sweats, body weakness, diarrhea and nausea, and a dry cough. If you experience the above-mentioned possible early HIV symptoms 1 to 4 weeks after a high-risk exposure, please go and take an HIV test ASAP. Other infections that appear in the AIDS stage include Kaposi's sarcoma, an HIV-related skin cancer, TB infection, lung infections, pneumonia, that are hard to treat, abscesses, AIDS brain diseases like toxoplasmosis, and so many others. Is that more than 90% of HIV-positive people have absolutely no symptoms at all. Only 60 to 70% of people experience those symptoms, and the remaining 40 to 30% will not have any symptoms of early HIV despite being newly infected. 2. HIV positive person will experience symptoms only in the acute HIV stage and then in the last stage or AIDS stage. How long can a man have HIV without knowing depends on many factors like the type of HIV you have, your nutritional status, the presence of other infections, genetic factors, and other environmental factors. Studies have shown that people who have AIDS and are not taking any HIV medication live for less than 3 years. The number of people who are unaware they are living with HIV is worse than in the rest of the world, and it could be the worst in Africa. In fact, according to HIV.gov, more than 5.9 million people globally do not know that they are living with HIV. According to the Center for Disease Control, CDC, more than 1.2 million people in the USA are living with HIV. From the same data source, 1 in 5 Americans do not know they are living with HIV. According to the Center for Disease Control, CDC, more than 1.2 million people in the USA are living with HIV. From the same data source, 1 in 5 Americans do not know they are living with HIV.